Alrighty YouTube, another one of Kip's Clips. So we're still watching the fallout happen from the Harriet Harman scandal, her being part of the National Council for Civil Liberties, which were affiliated with the Paedophile Information Exchange Group. A lot of people, including myself, have been caught doing it myself on the BBC, so on and so forth, are describing this group as a pro-paedophile group. I think that's actually underselling it. It wasn't like normal people who sat in a room and thought, right, well, okay, let's try and understand the paedophiles, let's try and make the world a better place for everybody. No, it was actually active paedophiles who wanted to bring around a change in the law to make their paedophilic crimes go unpunished, to legalise them, to make it acceptable socially to have sex with children as young as 10 and it not being illegal, as long as the 10-year-old knew what the act was and gave consent. And it is all in the papers, it is all in the documents, it's documented, right? That is the legislation, that's what they were lobbying Parliament for. Not PI, but the NCCL. Okay, a lot of people think it was PI that put these proposals towards the Parliament. It wasn't. PI was affiliated with the National Council for Civil Liberties, a lobby group, if you want to call it that. They sat on committees and they put their agenda forward, which was then which was then repeated in documents by the National Council, the NCCL. Now, what I want to do as well is just tear this apart as well. Just listen to this, man. They're all coming out the woodwork. How they're trying to defend this, I do not know. This Harriet Harman, well, in fact, I do know. Right, here's my theory, my working theory. Here's my theory. She's been in and around the paedophile rings circles. She sat on committees with paedophiles, and she, like Margaret Thatcher and Jimmy Savile, would use this information to further her political career. It's kind of like why you get a lot of pedos and a lot of sexual deviants at the top echelons of power. They use it bribery, and they use the knowledge they have of people's sexual exploits as the way of bribery and corruption. Now, just a wee side note as well, that's something nobody's ever touched on. A lot of people know about Masons, Skull and Bones, and all the fraternities and secret societies, or societies with secrets, whatever way you want to deem it. Now, a lot of people have heard about the rituals that go on within the Skull and Bones. Now, the rituals they are different. Every lodge, every secret society is independent, but they all stem from the same doctrine, so they all tend to share very familiar practices. Now, in the Skull and Bones, it's been widely reported that you sit in a coffin and you regress, or you recall your first sexual experiences and things like that. Again, it's using the doctrine of exposing your secrets in a secret group, and then that secret group knows your secrets, and you're always constantly binded to that group. Even if you want to leave it, they know your secrets, so you can't tell them and they can't tell you. That is how it works. Okay, go and look back in the Masons' heyday and just trying to think. If you put in Google Masons will never tell, or something along those lines, and you'll get all the doctrine that the Masons use, that are exactly from the same place, but it's all coming from the same doctrine. And this doctrine has been used in politics for a very long time, and the best way to control somebody is by them being the biggest sexual deviant, i.e., in my eyes, paedophilia, and that's the very easy way to control it. Now, I've rambled on enough, sorry, but as I keep going off in tangents, let's see this biatch.
Today, Harriet Harman said she regretted the fact that a civil liberties group she once worked for had links to pro-paedophile campaigners in the 90s.
Pro-paedophile? No, they were paedophiles campaigning for paedophile rights. The BBC's in on this, okay? Don't think the BBC's up there trying to grill these people. The BBC is up there to whitewash this.
1970s. She also insisted the paedophile group had been pushed to the margins of the National Council for Civil Liberties before she joined in 1978.
Well, now the Daily Telegraph has claimed to have discovered documents that show the chairman of the Paedophile Information Exchange sat on a committee at the NCCL in 1979.
Well, we can speak now to Labour's...
Okay, did you hear that? 1979, the chairman for PI, Paedophile Information Exchange. It's not a pro-paedophile group, it is a group of paedophiles. Very, very, very important you get that distinction. This is the Judai mind trick, the mind wash of it, okay? They're talking about, oh, people theorising about what goes through a paedophile's head. And no, these were active paedophiles, i.e. they were fucking children in this group, and they were pushing to allow their fucking crimes against humanity go unpunished in this legal world. Well, I'm sorry, that's natural fucking law, right? Natural law. You take the piss, you harm somebody innocent, you should get fucking punished, man. Natural law, and that's the way I see it. Now, I've watched this, right? Just watch the first few seconds. It tells you all you need to know, right? You don't need to be a body language expert, anything like that. Just watch this stumbling, bumbling fool trying to find words to match her lies.
I'm Tessa Jowell, who has known and worked with Harriet Harman for over 30 years. Welcome, thanks very much for coming in. You have known her for a very long time. How do you feel about the way this has been handled?
Well, you know, I think it's time just to move on from this. I think that...
I thought she was having fucking a heart attack or something for a second. Do you know what it reminded me of? Vicky Pollard. I bet no, but I bet no, but I bet no, but I bet no, but I bet. She couldn't fucking find words to match the fucking lies that her head wanted to spit out. And then she goes, I think it's time people move on. This is disgusting. Fuck you, you fucking Tessa Jowell MP piece of shit. And I'm sorry about my language, man, but you cannot help but feel hatred for these people. Feel hatred for them. It's beyond sympathy, because you know they're lying. I know that this person, if she's known fucking Harriet Harman for a long time, she'll know all this. Everybody's known it for a very long time. People like myself, the UK column, everybody's been harping on about this. I think it was the first time I found out about Pi, about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Started putting up stuff on my channel, and then Harriet Harman's name came up. So it's been known for a very long time, and she's just covering for the crimes of her, trying to cover for the crimes of her friend. They've already debunked Harriet Harman's, oh, well, we pushed them to the sidelines before I joined. 1978, I think Harriet Harman, was it 76? No, 78. I think it was 78 to 82. She was there for 4 years, I think. Don't quote me on that. I think that's the years. And the chairman of PI, Paedophile Information Exchange, the paedophile group, not pro-paedophile group, sat on a committee of the Council of Civil, the National Council of Civil Liberties, the same committee that Harriet Harman was the legal secretary of. Let's get on with the lies.
You know, what are the facts of this?
What are the facts? Well, go and look at my previous clips I've put up about this, and you will see the documentation.
Harriet Harman and her husband, now husband Jack Dromey, who was the chair of NCCL, never had any thing to do with the paedophile information exchange, except in Jack's case, taking them on and attacking them. So they are, you know, absolutely blameless in relation to the kind of accusations that are being levelled at them. And the important thing is that Harriet's focus at NCCL, you know, which was a rather anarchic organisation.
See, this is the other Judai mind trick. Oh, anybody could join. It was anarchic. Oh, we had murderers, we had pedos, we had beasts. We had everybody. It was just a viper's den of cunts. But hey, It's not my fault. Harriet Harman seemed to fall into a council that was full of pedos and cunts. You can't blame her for being the fucking legal secretary for 4 years of a council that was infiltrated by paedophiles. Not pro-paedophile groups, by openly paedophiles. Right, and this is a scary bit. Listen to this.
As far as I can understand, but Harriet's work at NCCL was on, pretty, run-of-the-mill practical things like getting equal pay for women in very low-paid jobs, protecting women from domestic violence, more childcare.
Childcare. Child fucking care. This bitch is fucking her job, she was concentrating on childcare in the National Council for Civil Liberties while they were officially affiliated and taking monies from the Paedophile Information Exchange Group. This bitch is up there trying to defend Harriet Harman and she's just blurted that out. I'm sorry, people really need to hit the pause button, think for themselves and stop the BBC whitewashing this shit.
Giving voice to children who were in care.
We should move on from this. Wouldn't it have been much easier to have move on had she said that she was sorry that this...
Right, see, there's the BBC. Ask a question, let her say something, not answering the question, and they don't push her for the answer. Okay? Well, do you not think it's a conflict of interest to have Harriet Harman dealing with the care of children within the National Council for Civil Liberties at the same time they're affiliated with a paedophile group? A paedophile group. Nah, let's not ask these questions. Let's just move on, BBC?
Group was ever affiliated to the organisation she was working for. It would have been much simpler, wouldn't it? And instead today you've got journalists raking through things and now they find that things don't actually add up to the way that she said.
No, I mean, if I can just say, I mean, that is simply not the case. It's some minutes 35 years ago have been discovered that show that the convicted paedophile who was then running the Paedophile Information Exchange
on the same subcommittee.
He sat on a committee. He himself said he never met Harriet.
He's in the lift with her or something, and he's been speaking on the radio. For goodness sake,
I mean, that's hardly a sphere of influence. No.
He himself's never met him. Oh, well, she met him in the lift. Oh, that's hardly meeting him. You just said that he'd never met him, you fucking liar. You fucking liar. See what I mean by somebody real actually asking people like this questions? It would not happen. The House of Cards would just, phew, straight away. So because he says that he never met Harriet Harman, it's cool that they coexisted in the same council where they could communicate via letter, by telephone, by third parties to get the words across. I mean, does she think people are going to believe her?
No, of course not, but it shows that they weren't sidelined in the way that she has said that they were by the time
because he got in the lift and she happened
that he was sitting on subcommittees on gay rights and things
but as I say, as far as I understand it, this was a rather sort of internally chaotic organisation. Harriet was not on this committee. She wasn't working on gay rights. She was working on childcare.
Childcare. That is fucking scary. That is fucking terrifying. Oh, Harriet Harman wasn't working on gay rights with the paedophile. Oh, she was actually working on childcare. Fucking get that inside your nut and try and compute it, man. This is crazy.
She was working on tackling domestic violence and, these kind of issues that
Domestic violence. Yes, domestic violence. A man and a woman had an argument. Let's turn up with the Child Protective Services and take the children off the man and the woman because they had a run-of-the-mill domestic, put the kids in care and then let them get abused by paedophiles. You see how well this big fucking link works? Do you see how all these scumbags are all in it together?
She's been associated with all her professional and indeed her political life. So when I say move on, it's not that, of course, people shouldn't have answers to the questions.
Oh, well, fucking answer them then, you daft boot! Oh, of course people should have answers to the questions. Well, fucking answer them then, you fucking cretin. Oh my God, how I would yes, no or die. Bring it on.
That have been raised. But I think that, this risks becoming a sort of frenzy which obscures the facts.
So on that point, should she have answered these questions earlier then? Because there were many weeks that passed before these questions were answered in the Newsnight interview.
These allegations have been swirling around for years, but she's done, I think, what she had to do, which is, you know, you have.
Thank you thank you very much as well. She's just pointed out the absolute retardation of the British press. This information has been out for years. She's admitted that people in Westminster, the papers that UK call, have known about this for years. And what have they done about it? They've sat on their big fucking fat asses and done fuck all. I'm running out of time. As always, I can't fucking get through all these clips. Thumbs it up, share it. Radio show, Sunday, 6 to 8.